Hi folks, Nathaniel here at Chicago Music Exchange, and I'm joined by Jamie Gale from BGS. How's it going?
Good, thanks.
So you guys are in town on the 21st of October, and we're having a kind of a sneak peek with some of your particular picks out of the bunch.
VIP preview.
VIP preview, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I must say it's always a pleasure when you guys stop by, because I get to see and play guitars that, you know, not many other people do, to be quite honest. So I'm very fortunate, and I thank you for that. And I've already fallen in love with this baritone guitar.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this.
Yeah, that's Tony Carroll, a Canadian guitar maker. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that if you go to guitar making school, like at the Gallup School here, it's the biggest guitar making school in the US. If you tell Brian Gallup you're making a guitar, he'll immediately ask you, are you making a Martin or a Larrivee? There's a distinction between the American school and the Canadian school. Right. It's a different approach. And so, you know, people like Linda Manzer and Britt Laskin and Sergey de Jong were all John Larrivee's apprentices and came out that direction. And so Tony Carroll is another great Canadian guitar maker who's sort of in that direction. Makes a world-class instrument. This is a wonderful baritone acoustic guitar, which is great to have on tour. Not a lot of people have played a baritone acoustic. It has a sinker redwood top on it, which means that it's been basically underwater for a long period of time in the minerals, and it really does an interesting compression of the wood. It's a sought-after thing to do. And then we have a wenge back and sides on this one.
So we've swapped out one acoustic for another, and this looks a little bit different.
Indeed.
Looks pretty interesting. What have we got going on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different things. This is Joy Guitars, and he's always making a storied guitar. I'm interested to see your response to this, because this guitar is actually made with wood from Jimi Hendrix's childhood home.
This here?
Yeah, this soundboard is actually from the floorboards
of his house.
Sorry, the baseboards. This is the baseboards.
So
from his childhood home. The neck is actually made from floorboards from Jimi Hendrix's childhood home in Seattle. Yeah, you'll see on the back there, it's authenticated by the Hendrix Foundation, who keep a very tight wrap on that stuff.
I can imagine. I mean, it is mind-blowing. I mean, it's a bit shocking at the same time.
There's little flecks of paint in the inlay here. Those flecks of paint are what he sort of peeled off of the floorboards. Unfortunately, the childhood home was taken down. It fell into a state of disrepair and was moved in Seattle, and there was a big sort of debate about whether the city should own it. And actually they decided to tear it down.
What?
Yeah. And so therein comes in the opportunity that the materials, maybe there can be something be done with this. And what better way to sort of commemorate a piece of Jimi Hendrix history than to build it into
Yeah.
a guitar of some sort, you know. And I think we think of Hendrix in this traditional mind frame at this point in time.
Yeah.
But the gear he played was anything but traditional at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and what he did wasn't traditional.
Yeah.
And so I would like to think that if Jimi Hendrix were around today, he'd be very open to trying a new guitar
like to
that's
think
made
so,
in a
wouldn't
new
you?
way. Yeah.
See, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking of that. There's that famous picture of when he's a kid, and I think he's got like a red Dan Electro.
Yeah.
And now
Yes.
is that in front of his
Standing
childhood?
outside of the childhood
Is
home.
that the childhood home?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That just takes me to that picture straight away.
Yeah, 10 to 13 years old is what is the age that he lived at that place.
That's madness, isn't it?
Yeah. Here we have mayonnaise guitars, and it is mayonnaise like the condiment.
Right.
Right.
So I said it wrong, mayonnaise.
Well, I
Did
tried.
I sound a bit posh saying mayonnaise there?
Yeah, I think so.
There's
and
no
honestly, I did the same thing until I was with them recently in Gdansk,
Right.
Poland, where they are, and asked. And the backstory is one of the two guys who started the company. This was his nickname. And his nickname was basically like ketchup.
Yeah.
Or it's mayonnaise.
Right, so
Yeah.
I mean, just so you know, there's no one from Manchester who's posh, so me trying to be posh doesn't make sense, you know. I mean, the colour, very striking colour. That looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the figure you see is quite unusual. That's Italian poplar,
Right.
which is not commonly used. Another BGS guitar maker, Giulio Negrini from Switzerland, also uses Italian poplar for tops, and it just has such a unique figure on it, and it lends itself really well to bright colors because it's very white in its color. It's a wonderful instrument. It has Kaya back and sides with mahogany, a Wenge and Purple Heart, a very stiff neck.
That's cool.
It lends itself really well to fast, articulate playing.
Yeah.
I love the story here because this company was started, mom and dad were building guitars kind of behind the Iron Curtain, and they couldn't get access to anything. So mom was winding pickups.
Oh, really?
Dad was carving the wood, and now it's run by the two sons. And I met mom also. She had lunch with us when we were there.
Yeah.
And it's such a wonderful family. And these guys are really serious about their making the guitars because they make quite a few guitars. They make about 1,200 guitars a year.
Oh, wow, I didn't know it was as much as that.
But they carve the neck and they sit it there for 3 or 4 months to allow it to season, and they carve the bodies and they sit things there. They're not pushing things through.
Yeah.
And so some people will ask, why is a mayonnaise guitar on tour with us? Because they think of us as handmade guitars. But to me, boutique guitars are guitars that are made to a vision uncompromised. And so, when we start to make this guitar in a way where we put no-name tuners on it and pickups that are designed by but made somewhere else, it's a lower quality product to get to a lower price point, then you come out of the boutique market for me. Okay. But if we're making something that just doesn't have a bound top and it is cheaper because of that, that's okay, as long as it's made to the vision.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And these guys are producing about 1,200 guitars a year, uncompromised. They're really wonderful instruments. this is Tausch guitars. Rainer Tausch is a Bavarian guitar maker, south of Germany. And he just makes incredible playing, sounding instruments that are, I think they're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you look at this and you think, I know what that is.
It can do a lot.
Yeah, but you know, when you come to the Boutique Guitar Showcase, saying I know what that is generally, you're wrong.
You're generally wrong.
You're missing something.
Yeah.
And so you look at this, you think you got it, but this is a chambered pearwood body.
Yeah.
This one has a maple top on it, but the body is always pearwood. It has a set neck on it, not a bolt-on. And the scale length of this, which I don't like to talk about ahead of time because people will wig themselves out, this is a flamenco scale length. It's a little longer than 26 inches.
Okay.
You've played them, you didn't know that, right?
See, now, by my own admission, I'm useless at that kind of stuff.
No, but that's good.
Yeah.
The point is you played it and it just plays great, right?
That's it. That's all I'd noticed. It's like, right, this is great to
But
play.
when you tell people at first it's a little over 26 inches, they're like, oh, I don't know if I could get used to that. And they start to freak themselves out about it.
You could tell me it was 30 inches, I probably wouldn't notice, honestly.
Okay, all right.
I probably wouldn't, you know?
Pickups are Harry Heusel out of Germany, who a lot of the top European guitar makers use. Nick Huber, Jens Ritter, Rukangas, all these guys. And, you know, really intelligent little bridge designs and such. If he does a coil tap, which, well, yeah, it's a 5-way switch. You got 3 pickups here. So in here, you'll probably have a split at some point in time. And when they split, they're well balanced. And they're just super, super functional guitar. He only makes about 25 or 30 guitars a year. He works by himself. So these are a rare and hot commodity. So I'd be surprised if you have what you have very long.
Well, they are wonderful guitars. And I'll keep them out for some more in the future as well.
And of course, I guess it should go without saying, your marketing people would probably like us to mention that, yes, all of the guitars in the Boutique Guitar Showcase are for sale, but they have to complete the tour.
Right.
And so you can you know, reserve one. But then when the tour is over, it ships back to the store. Right.
Now, this is a wonderful looking instrument. It's wacky, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, it's everything all rolled into one. And it has a scent.
A lovely fragrance.
A lovely fragrance guitar. That's what's missing these days.
A good nose.
Yeah, I want a smelly guitar. Smelly in a good, you know, in a good way, you know, preferably. No, in all seriousness, this is incredible looking.
You know, that it's funny because, you know, Mike Sankey would actually be very happy you said that.
Yeah.
So this is a Sankey guitar with Mike Sankey in Ottawa, Canada.
Right.
And Mike is very much an organic kind of guy, and he's the one who he finds a piece of wood and he kind of. I don't want to sound too pretentious with this, but like Michelangelo said about his David, that I saw him in the marble and I worked, to free him basically.
Right, right, okay.
Until we found him. Yeah. And Mike kind of takes that approach. He finds a piece of wood, and he sees the guitar in it and starts to remove the excess until he finds the guitar in it. And this is a wonderful piece of burled Alaskan yellow cedar, which frankly I've never seen before. And I've seen a lot of unusual guitars, a lot of unusual woods. And that cedar, of course, is a wood that we use for its fragrance, right? I mean, traditionally we use it to build dressers and wardrobes, keep away moths, and make your clothes smell nice and such. So I don't think you're wrong about the fragrance of it. Throughout the whole process, if you hold that guitar against yourself, you'll find it's a very comfortable feeling guitar.
It is, definitely.
Because he literally is, using the rasp and such, and he holds it up against himself and he feels it and says, okay, that's feeling good, or that's a little irritating, and he'll keep working at it. So he really has a very sculptural approach to what he does.
Yeah.
And this is a solid rosewood neck on it.
Right.
And so, it's interesting you sort of said about the weight, because, this is a very light wood and this is a heavier wood, but actually it balances very nicely. It's not neck heavy, which you might think with this. He likes the lace aluminum pickups because they're, in his mind, they're very open and very natural, non-intrusive. They don't have a ton of. It's weird to say that pickups don't have a lot of character to them, but people have the lace aluminum pickups when they don't want too much character. And Mike also 3D prints his own hardware. So that bridge and the knobs were designed by Mike Sankey and then 3D printed. It's a wonderful piece, a really interesting guitar maker. He never makes the same thing twice.
Right.
So you always have a unique piece from Michael Sankey.
I love the horn up here as well.
Yeah. I'm excited to experience something new all the time, which is, each one of these guitars causes me to do something different. Yeah. It's actually something I love about you and your playing, is you don't download the jazz standard or the hymnal of that sort of genre upon each guitar. You tend to get to know the guitar.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, and again, I'm always honoured to play these amazing instruments. And it's always good just hanging out. Yeah. Now, whose shoes are better today? Can we see these? Whose shoes are better?
Are we?
I think it's yours today, right?
Is it mine today?
It's always
Those
yours.
are classics.
I've never won this duel.
What? Come on. Yes, you have. No, with me, maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You win every time, man.
John Fluvag.
John Fluvag.
John Fluvag. He's a Canadian shoe designer, and you'll see these on the feet of Jack White and Alice Cooper and Beyonce and Madonna.
I'm not that cool though. I'm not as cool as you.
The cover of Black Eyed Peas, Ella Funk, they're all wearing Fluvags,
Fluvag or Vag?
Vogue. It's a weird name. Fluvog, Fluevog.
Fluvog. Yeah. John, send me a pair, and I'll.
You know what? Let's make a plea together to John Fluvog. John Fluvog, we would love for you to sponsor the Boutique Guitar Showcase and CME's special sort of demo room with Nathaniel. And I don't see why you shouldn't actually.
Yeah, I'll wear a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Happily.
I'll wear more.
So of course, BGS is at the show on the 21st of October.
Yeah.
We've got these guitars. We've got many more wonderful, instruments that are going to be there as well.
Yes.
Possibly some new shoes for me.
Absolutely.
Maybe for you as well, if we're lucky.
I actually get new tour shoes every year. You won't see me in the same shoes during the event.
He's rubbing it in now, isn't he?
And so I've thrown down the gauntlet.
Right. I want to see what shoes you're rocking on the 21st.
Step up. Step up.
I'm trying, man.
I'll be watching.
But no, in all seriousness, it is always exciting when you guys stop in and amazing guitars. And hopefully, I would urge everyone who's at home, who's watching this, please stop by the shop. Get hands-on with these instruments, play them, plug them in, and be amazed because they are amazing.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. So hopefully see you there.